Every call to 911 starts the same way. A dispatcher answers. Someone is having the worst moment of their life, and the person on the other end of the line becomes their lifeline. Most calls are handled efficiently. Medical emergencies, traffic accidents, domestic disputes. Dispatchers are trained for this. They stay calm. They get help moving. They save lives. But sometimes, rarely, but sometimes, a call comes in that breaks through that professional distance. A call where the dispatcher can hear something happening in real time that they're powerless to stop. A call where every second matters and help is still minutes away. Tonight I'm sharing 3 true stories from veteran 911 dispatchers. Calls that were recorded, transcribed, investigated. Calls they'll never forget no matter how many years pass. These aren't the worst calls they ever received. They're the calls that haunt them. The ones they hear in quiet moments. The ones that made them question whether they could keep doing this job. Before we answer these calls, I need you to do something. If you've ever wondered what 911 dispatchers actually experience, the psychological toll, the trauma they absorb, the lives they try to save from behind a screen, kindly subscribe right now. Hit that subscribe button. Because these stories show the reality of emergency dispatch work that most people never see. The weight they carry, the calls that never leave them. Turn on notifications. These aren't just horror stories. They're a window into what first responders hear, what they can't unhear, and why we need to support their mental health. So kindly subscribe, hit that bell, and let's listen to the 3 calls that changed these dispatchers forever. Our first story comes from Jennifer, a 911 dispatcher. At 9:47 p.m., I received a call that came up on my screen as a residential landline. The address populated immediately, a single-family home in a quiet neighborhood. I answered the way I always did. What I heard next made my heart skip. A child's voice, very young, whispering. "Jennifer, hi, sweetheart, I'm here to help you. Can you tell me what's wrong?" I immediately dispatched police to the address. Emergency priority, silent approach, potential home invasion with child in danger. Estimated arrival, 6 minutes. But 6 minutes is an eternity when a child is hiding from an intruder. I kept the child on the line, speaking softly. "Child, I'm in my closet. Under the clothes. It's dark." "Jennifer, that's perfect. That's a really good hiding spot. Can you tell me your name?" "Child, Emma. I'm 8. "Jennifer, hi Emma, I'm Jennifer. The police are coming to help you right now, okay? They'll be there very soon. I need you to stay very quiet for me. Can you do that?" "Emma, yes, but I can hear him. He's upstairs now." I could hear it too. Footsteps, doors opening and closing. Someone systematically searching the house. "Jennifer, Emma, I can hear that. You're doing great, staying quiet. Does your closet door lock?" "Emma, no, just closes." "Jennifer, okay, that's okay. Stay under those clothes, don't move, don't make any sound. Can you do that for me?" "Emma, he's coming downstairs." I made a split-second decision. I muted my microphone so the intruder wouldn't hear my voice if he got close to Emma, but I stayed on the line, listening, ready to unmute and give instructions if needed. For the next 2 minutes, Jennifer listened to an intruder search the house while an 8-year-old girl hid in a closet, alone, terrified, with only a 911 dispatcher as her lifeline. Jennifer heard a door open, very close to Emma. The child's breathing stopped entirely, holding her breath. Then she heard a man's voice. "I know you're in here somewhere, little girl. Come out, wherever you are." I unmuted. "Emma, police are almost there, 30 seconds. Stay hidden, don't move." But Emma didn't respond. I didn't know if she could even hear me anymore. The closet door could be open. The intruder could be right there. Police had entered the house. Suspect in custody, searching for the child, checking all rooms. For 30 more seconds, I didn't know if Emma was okay. Those were the longest 30 seconds of my life. Then I heard it. Emma. Is he gone? Is he gone? You're safe now, sweetheart. You're safe. Let's get you out of there, said the officer. Emma was found exactly where she said she'd be, in her bedroom closet under a pile of clothes, holding her mom's phone, still connected to 911. Officer on scene. Dispatcher, we have the child. She's unharmed. Repeat, child is safe. Suspect in custody. The intruder was a 34-year-old man with previous convictions for burglary and assault. He'd been watching the house for days, knew Emma's mother worked night shifts as a nurse, knew Emma would be home alone with just her younger brother. Emma's 5-year-old brother had been hiding in the bathroom the entire time, too scared to move or make noise. Emma had called 911 from her mother's phone when she heard the intruder break the back door lock. The man was charged with breaking and entering, attempted kidnapping, and child endangerment. He was sentenced to prison. Emma is 15 now. She's safe. She's in therapy. And she still has Jennifer's voice in her head telling her to stay quiet, stay hidden. Help is coming. When I spoke with Jennifer for this video, she told me this. I hear Emma's whisper every time I answer a call from a child, every single time. For 6 minutes, I was the only adult in Emma's world who knew what was happening. The only one who could help her. If I'd handled it wrong, if I'd spoken too loudly and given away her position, if I'd told her to run when she should have stayed hidden, if I'd disconnected to dispatch faster instead of staying on the line, she might not be alive today. I'll never forget that whisper. I'll never forget hearing him search for her. And I'll never forget the moment I heard the officer say, "You're safe now." That's the call I think about when people ask me why I still do this job after 15 years. Because Emma called 911 and I answered, and because I answered, she's alive. But it's also the call I think about at 2 a.m. when I can't sleep, when I wonder what would have happened if police had been 60 seconds slower, if he'd found her first. Our second story comes from Chen, a 911 dispatcher. Valentine's Day 2021, the graveyard shift, 3:22 a.m. Most of Marcus's calls that night had been routine, drunk drivers, domestic arguments, one medical emergency. But at 3:22 a.m., a call came in that would haunt him for years. A man's voice, panicked, breathless. Someone's trying to break into my house. They're at the door right now. Please send someone. Marcus. Okay, sir, I'm sending help right now. What's your address? Caller. It's 4782 Pine Ridge Road. Hurry, they're breaking the door. Marcus dispatched the nearest sheriff's deputies, 2 units, 12 and 15 minutes out. Rural Montana. Everything is far apart. Help takes time. Okay, help is on the way. They're 12 minutes out. Are you alone in the house? Caller. Yes, just me. The door. Oh, God, it's breaking. Marcus. Sir, is there a room you can barricade yourself in? A bathroom, bedroom with a lock? Caller. I'm in the bedroom now. I'm pushing furniture against the door. For the next several minutes, Marcus stayed on the line with the caller, giving instructions on how to stay safe, assuring him help was coming, updating him on deputy locations. Marcus. They're 8 minutes away now. Stay quiet. Don't let them know which room you're in. But at minute 6, Marcus heard something that made his stomach drop. Wait, what's that address you sent them to? Marcus. 4782 Pine Ridge Road. That's what you said, correct? Oh no. Oh God, no. I meant Pine Valley Road. Pine Valley. Not Pine Ridge. They're going to the wrong place. Marcus, trying to stay calm. Okay. What's the correct address? Caller: 4782 Pine Valley Road. It's 15 miles from Pine Ridge. Please, they're trying to break down my bedroom door. You have to send them here. Marcus immediately updated the call, redirected the deputies, but they were now 20+ minutes away instead of 6 minutes, and the intruders were actively trying to break into the bedroom. Marcus: Sir, I need you to find a weapon. Anything. A lamp, a belt, keys, anything you can defend yourself with if they get in. Caller: I have a baseball bat, but there's at least 3 of them. Marcus: Help is coming. 18 minutes. You need to hold on. Caller: I don't have 18 minutes. They're almost through. The bedroom door broke. Marcus heard the struggle, heard the caller fighting, heard impacts, yelling, chaos. Marcus heard a gunshot, then silence. The line was still open, but no sound. Marcus: Can you hear me? What's your status? No response. The line stayed open but silent for 3 more minutes until deputies arrived. When deputies arrived at 4782 Pine Valley Road, they found the front door smashed open, the house ransacked, the bedroom door broken off its hinges, evidence of a violent struggle, and the caller, James, 34 years old, critically injured on the bedroom floor. He'd been beaten and stabbed, but he was alive, barely. The gunshot Marcus heard. James had managed to fire 1 round from a handgun he'd grabbed from his nightstand. He'd hit one of the intruders in the leg, causing all 3 to flee. If he hadn't had that gun, if he hadn't fought back, if he'd simply waited for help that was going to the wrong address, he would have died. The 3 intruders were identified through the blood trail and security camera footage from a neighbor's property. They were part of a rural robbery crew targeting isolated homes. They'd been watching James's house for days, knew he lived alone, knew he had valuables from an inheritance. They'd planned this as an easy robbery. They didn't expect resistance. All 3 were arrested within 48 hours. The injured one went straight to the hospital, then to jail. They were charged with home invasion, assault with intent to kill, and attempted murder. James survived. He spent 6 weeks in the hospital, required multiple surgeries, has permanent nerve damage in his left arm, sold his house and moved to a city. Can't live in isolated areas anymore. But Chen, the dispatcher, he couldn't move past what happened. The wrong address haunted him. When I spoke with Marcus, he'd already left his job. He resigned 8 months after the call. He couldn't do it anymore. The address mistake wasn't my fault. James misheard himself, or I misheard him. We'll never know exactly what happened. The 911 system worked. The deputies responded. James survived. But for 6 minutes, I sent help to the wrong place. For 6 minutes, James was fighting for his life, while deputies raced to an empty house 15 miles away. I hear his voice saying, "They're going to the wrong place," in my nightmares. I hear the door breaking. I hear him fighting alone. People don't realize, dispatchers don't just take information and send help. We hear what's happening. We hear people die. We hear them fight. We hear them beg. And we can't do anything but talk and hope help arrives in time. When help went to the wrong address, I felt like I failed him. Logically, I know I didn't. But emotionally, I still hear that call. I still count those 6 minutes where help was going to the wrong place. James doesn't blame me. He's told me that. We've talked, but I blame myself. This story highlights an often overlooked aspect of 911 calls. Address accuracy is critical. In rural areas, a small mistake can mean life or death. 911 address safety tips. Know your exact address, street names spelled correctly. No alternate names, old street names, nearby landmarks. Have address on your phone contacts as my address. Teach children your full address early and repeatedly. In rural areas, no mile markers and nearest cross streets. If you're visiting someone, confirm address before emergencies happen. When calling 911, state address twice to confirm. If dispatcher repeats address, listen carefully and correct immediately. Stay on the line so dispatcher can verify location with you. Marcus now advocates for better dispatcher mental health support. He gives talks about the psychological toll of emergency dispatch work and why these first responders need as much care as the people they help. Our final story, call number 3, the one that still haunts the dispatcher who received it, comes from Sarah, 2:37 p.m. Beautiful day, high call volume, usual weekend chaos, accidents, noise complaints, minor emergencies. Sarah had been a dispatcher for 7 years. She was good at her job, calm under pressure, professional. She'd heard terrible things. She thought she'd heard it all. Then she answered a call that changed everything. Sarah, 911, what's your emergency? A woman's voice, calm, too calm. Female caller, eerily calm. Hi, I'm calling to report a murder. Sarah, ma'am, where is the victim? Are you in danger right now? Caller, the victim is in my apartment, and no, I'm not in danger. I'm the one who killed him. He's on my living room floor. There's a lot of blood. I think I should probably tell you I used a knife. Sarah was now on the phone with someone confessing to murder. She followed protocol, kept the caller talking, got address information, dispatched police silently while maintaining the call. Okay, I'm going to send officers to your location. Can you tell me what happened? Caller still eerily calm. He was hurting me. For years. I couldn't take it anymore. So today, when he started again, I picked up the knife and I stabbed him. Multiple times. I don't know how many. Sarah, is anyone else in the apartment with you? Caller, no, just me and him. But he's not really here anymore, if you know what I mean. He's just a body now. Sarah kept the caller talking while police raced to the scene. 4 minutes estimated arrival. The caller's name was Michelle, and she was describing her boyfriend's murder with the emotional effect of someone ordering coffee. Michelle, I need you to stay on the phone with me until officers arrive. Can you move away from the body? Michelle, sure, I'll go sit on the couch. Is that okay? Sarah, that's perfect. And Michelle, do you still have the knife? Michelle, yes, it's on the coffee table. Do you want me to? Sarah, no, don't touch it. Just leave it there. Are you injured at all? I don't think so. I don't feel anything. Should I feel something? Police arrived 3 minutes and 47 seconds into the call. Sarah heard them breach the apartment. Police, show me your hands. Michelle calmly. Oh, they're here now. Should I hang up? Sarah, no, stay with me. Do exactly what the officers tell you. Michelle, okay, I'm putting my hands up. They're putting handcuffs on me now. This is uncomfortable. Officers secured Michelle without incident. She didn't resist, didn't react emotionally. She was compliant, calm, and completely disconnected from what she'd done. Sarah stayed on the line until officers confirmed the scene was secure. The victim was dead, stabbed 23 times, massive blood loss. Sarah ended the call, logged it, took a break, and then went back to answering 911 calls because that's the job. But this call didn't leave her. Not that day. Not ever. Sarah's, I've heard people die, I've heard people kill, but I'd never heard someone so calm about taking a life, like it meant nothing. The investigation revealed a complicated picture. David Hernandez had a history, multiple arrests for domestic violence with previous partners, restraining orders, anger issues, pattern of abuse. Michelle had no such history, no police reports, no hospital visits for injuries. No one knew she was being abused. She'd hidden it completely. But neighbors would later testify they'd heard arguing, screaming, sounds of violence for months. No one called 911. No one intervened. Until September 3rd, when Michelle apparently reached her breaking point. Michelle's defense team argued extreme emotional disturbance, that years of abuse had damaged her psychologically, that the killing was self-defense in the moment, even if David wasn't actively attacking when she called 911. The prosecution argued premeditation, that Michelle stabbed David 23 times, then calmly called to confess, showing she knew what she'd done and wasn't acting in immediate fear for her life. The jury deliberated for 6 days. The verdict: guilty of voluntary manslaughter, not murder, not self-defense. The middle ground, sentenced to 12 years in prison, eligible for parole in 8. But for Sarah, the dispatcher, the call never really ended. When I spoke with Sarah, she'd resigned from 911 dispatch 6 months after Michelle's call. She now works in a completely different field. She couldn't continue. People ask me why that call haunted me more than others. I've taken calls where people died on the line. I've heard children in danger. I've heard terrible things. But Michelle's call was different. It wasn't the violence. It wasn't even the murder. It was the calmness, the disconnect. The way she sounded like she was reporting a broken streetlight instead of a human life she'd just ended. I kept thinking, how much pain do you have to be in? How broken does someone have to be to kill another person and then call 911 and just explain it? Like it's a weather report. And then I started thinking about all the calls I didn't get. All the Michelles who were being hurt, who were suffering, who were reaching their breaking points, who never called for help until it was too late. I started hearing that calmness in every call, started wondering what people weren't telling me, started feeling like I was documenting tragedies instead of preventing them. The system failed Michelle, failed David's previous partners who reported him and nothing happened, failed the neighbors who heard but didn't call, failed everyone. And when Michelle finally did interact with the system, when she finally did call 911, it was to confess to murder. Sarah now advocates for domestic violence awareness and better mental health support for 911 dispatchers. She speaks publicly about the psychological toll of being the voice on the other end of tragedy. She wants people to understand that dispatchers absorb trauma with every shift. They hear the worst moments of people's lives. They carry the weight of calls they couldn't save, couldn't help, couldn't prevent. And sometimes, like with Michelle's call, they wonder if they're documenting human tragedy or participating in a system that fails to prevent it. Michelle is currently serving her sentence. She's in therapy. She's dealing with years of trauma. She regrets what happened, but also says she doesn't remember making the decision to stab David. Her therapist says that's consistent with dissociative episodes triggered by extreme trauma. Sarah thinks about Michelle sometimes, wonders how she's doing, wonders if things could have been different if someone had called 911 about the screaming months earlier. If David had been stopped after the first domestic violence complaint, if the system had worked. But mostly Sarah thinks about that voice, that calm, disconnected voice saying, "I killed him," like it was the most normal thing in the world. That's the call that never ended, the one that still plays in Sarah's mind, the one that made her realize she couldn't keep absorbing human tragedy without it breaking her too. 3 911 dispatchers, 3 calls they'll never forget, 3 moments where they were the voice on the other end of someone's worst day. These stories matter because 911 dispatchers are first responders too. They don't arrive at scenes. They don't perform CPR. They don't rescue people physically. But they hear everything. They hear people's last words. They hear children in danger. They hear violence happening in real time. They hear death, they hear tragedy, and they can't hang up. They can't look away. They have to stay on the line, stay calm, stay professional, while absorbing the worst moments of human experience. If you or someone you know works in 911 dispatch, understand this. Dispatcher's mental health matters. Warning signs of dispatcher: trauma, replaying calls in mind during off hours, hypervigilance about safety of loved ones, difficulty sleeping or nightmares, emotional numbness or detachment, increased anxiety when phone rings, avoiding situations that remind them of calls, feeling helpless or ineffective, cynicism about human nature, physical symptoms, headaches, stomach issues, fatigue, support. Resources: 911 Wellness Foundation, 911wellness.org, Code Green Campaign, Peer Support for Dispatchers, National Emergency Number Association, Counseling Resources, Critical Incident Stress Management, available through most agencies. Mental health counseling, specifically for first responders. Peer support programs, connecting dispatchers with others who understand. And if you're someone who might need to call 911 someday, and statistics say most people will at some point, remember, on the other end of that call is a human being. Someone who will hear your worst moment and carry it with them. Someone who will do everything in their power to help you. Someone who might remember your call for the rest of their life. Be patient with them. Give accurate information. Follow their instructions. And know that they care, even if they sound calm, even if they seem detached, even if they're following a script. They care, and your call becomes part of them. Thank you for listening to these stories. If you're a 911 dispatcher, thank you for the work you do. Thank you for answering when people call. Thank you for staying calm in chaos. Thank you for carrying what you hear so others don't have to. And if you're struggling, if you have a call that still haunts you, please know you're not alone. Reach out, get help, take care of yourself. You can't save everyone, and you don't have to carry every call alone. If you found this video meaningful, please share it. Share it with dispatchers who need to know their trauma is real and valid. Share it with people who don't understand what 911 dispatchers actually experience. Share it to raise awareness about the invisible first responders. And lastly, kindly subscribe to this channel for more true and educative stories.